And chickens and all birds, by the way, okay, but I'm talking about chickens. They have very keen eyesight, but this is only during daytime. Okay, at night their vision is partially impaired, and that's why they are somewhat easier to handle at night than during daytime. Okay? I have bought this vaccine recently, and it is a combination of two vaccines in one pack action. And these are Newcastle Asota and an infectious bronchitis vaccine. Okay, and it costed me around 12,000 Ugandan shillings, which is slightly above $3. Yeah, and it has the capacity of vaccinating up to 500 birds. However, I only have 11 birds, okay, which is quite few actually. But yeah, we are going to use what we can use, and the rest we shall dispose it off. Okay. So it is already dark in here, and almost around 7:30 p.m. Right, and my birds they have retired to where they roost. Okay, except a few naughty one that's still making noise count. Okay, so the house is quiet, but I'm going to cause some little chaos. Okay, it won't last long though, only for a few minutes. And this, by the way, is the first time that I am vaccinating them. Like I told you, there are 11 in number, and that is 5 chicks, 5 hens, and 1 cock. Okay, and the cock is a newcomer, by the way. The previous one died, and I do not know what disease it succumbed to because in the first place, I had not vaccinated the birds. Okay, and that, by the way, was 2 weeks ago. But now we have a new cock in our midst, and it's even better looking. Okay, it is 6 months old, almost red in color, and it bears all the desired traits that we are looking for in a cock, right? Uh, so it will be the future of this the flock, at least for the start. Okay? Yeah. So we can now establish a proper vaccination program since we have already acquired our cock. What we are going to do is we are going to give the vaccine by dropping in the eye. Okay? And this is what the vaccine will do. The vaccine is going to help the birds to fight the dreaded viral infections. Okay? It's going to give them the immunity, the resistance to fight. Like in this particular case, the one I'm vaccinating with the birds today, it's going to render them immune to Newcastle disease and infectious bronchitis. Okay? Yeah, that is it. But it should be done with a lot of care. I have to do it right from handling the vaccines to giving, like administering to the birds and disposing of what is left. Okay, and friends, vaccines, from what I have learned, they really need to be handled with a lot of caution because they can easily lose potency when handled the wrong way, right? So they need to be kept under very cold condition. That's why I've carried it in a vacuum flask, okay, to keep it cold. And I will have to ensure it remains cold throughout the entire exercise, okay? Because if it warms up, even just by a little bit like this, we might lose it. It might lose its potency, and it will become useless. Okay, so I should really do it right. Okay, because I do not want to risk to lose. I don't want to risk to lose my small flock the second time. Because friends, in my first attempt at raising poultry, even though it was, very exciting experience because the flock grew, to 100 birds in less than 1 year. But the progress was cut short by the Newcastle outbreak, which eventually wiped out almost like the entire crop. And I remember how I used to dread opening the chicken house because whenever I did, I would have to collect dead birds, okay, carcasses of birds to dispose of. Imagine the sight of waking up and walking to your chicken coop only to find most of the birds are dead, and the few that are left and struggling to keep alive. It is very horrifying, okay? Anyway, the rest of the remaining birds that were sick died, and I was forced to shut down. But that was a long time ago. That was early last year. Okay, and therefore I can't risk. I should not risk. This time I have to get it right. Okay. So, like I've already told you, I'm giving them a drop in the eyes, which is usually the recommended route for administering um, Newcastle vaccine. But when the birds population rises, I'm not sure whether this approach will really be sustainable. But we shall have to cross that bridge when we get there, okay? Yeah, that is. So I usually give the birds some time to come outside and free range around, explore the farm, but only once in a while. And this is a risky take because my place lacks like a perimeter fence. So other chickens, they come from outside and they interact with my flock, which poses a serious threat. But when I eventually fence, I will switch to full free range system because they will, be more secure to roam around the farm, with minimum threat of contracting diseases. Okay, that is it. That was it for today. Eh, So, friends, in the next few days, the hens they're going to start laying, and the best part is that they are all going to start laying at once, about the same time period, right? And this is very important because of the method that I am using to rear chicken. Okay, it really favors me because this is what I'm doing. First of all, I am hatching all my chicks on the same day, and then after that, I am assigning them to one caring hen or two caring mothers. Then for the next 2 weeks, when they no longer need feed and they have grown from feathers, then I'll take them, leave their hens to replenish within a few days. They will start laying all over again. This way, I'm going to maximize the rate of growth of the flock.
Stuck in the mirror, and I keep finding your hair. Got a big box in my closet with the fall pictures we took. Oh, and I keep finding dog ears that you left in my books. Miss your ache and I just crash over. Guess you crashed in like a tsunami. Woke up next to you so hungover. Sunlight painted stripes on your body. I'd give anything that I have just to